Welcome to this episode of the Note Closure Show. As always, Scott Carson, jacked up to be here with you today. Today's episode, I want to talk about something I think we all struggle with, and this is consistency and frustration. I know being a real estate investor has its ups and downs, especially trying to juggle it with a full-time career. Especially if you got to clock in 40 hours, whether you're working remotely at home or you're working in the office, it's hard to find that balance of staying consistent in your side hustle, your note investing, your real estate investing around your main, you know, let's just, your main money income in doing what you're doing. Then you also got to add in family time and spend time with the loved ones in the holidays. And consistency is something that everybody struggles with. If you're out there, you're not happy with the results, you're not closing as many deals, or you're not raising much capital, it comes back to two things. The first thing is, are you marketing your business on a consistent basis? We're not talking once a week or once in a while. When I hear from students that I'm kind of frustrated, I'm not closing enough deals, I'm not going to give offers, the first thing I do is I go back in and say, okay, let's take a look. Let's look at your profile. What are you sharing to LinkedIn? Because LinkedIn is the number one platform for real entrepreneurs, real estate investors. If you're looking to find deals, are you sharing what you're looking for? Are you sharing what you're asking for? And the investors and students of mine that are posting on a regular basis so that they're looking for deals or buying notes or performing on form, they're getting deals sent to them because they're doing it on a consistent basis. Now, if you've got a smaller LinkedIn profile, and by smaller I mean less, relatively new, less than 500 or less than 1,000, are you adding new people to your LinkedIn database? Are you using Octopus CRM? Are you reaching out to asset managers or reaching out to other investors on a regular basis? And by regular, I mean daily. I know that if you have a smaller LinkedIn profile or a free LinkedIn, it limits your connections to maybe 20 people per day, 100 per week. Well, it may make sense for you to upgrade to an upgraded version of LinkedIn so you can add more connections to your database. More eyes on your business leads to more business. All right. But the biggest thing when it comes to this, I mean, yes, it's great to market or you emailing out to your database. There's a variety of different things that you can be doing, but you have to be consistent in it. And you also have to be consistent in your message. If you're doing one thing, like you're targeting subject to deals, and then you're targeting note deals, and you're trying to raise capital, and you're trying to wholesale, or you're trying to do a variety of different things, if they don't have an underlying common theme to what you're doing or common branding in a case, people don't know what you do. It's like a pizza place advertising salads or advertising steaks, advertising on things. They don't know what they're known for. You have to really plant your flag and focus on one niche, one strategy until you've mastered that strategy. If you go from performing notes or non-performing or wholesale in real estate to subject to deals or trying to find something else, part of your consistency is you haven't given your marketing enough time to actually germinate leads for you or bring deals to the table. And this is the thing that a lot of people struggle with. And look, I struggled with it for a while. I can remember going back, when I first was really a full-time real estate investor after I left the mortgage company, I was doing a lot of things and I wasn't doing them all great. I make the joke, you want to be a master of an asset class, not a jack of all trades. And then you're a master of none of them. And if you're older, a little more seasoned, a little longer in the tooth, got a few more gray hairs out there, you understand that it takes a process, that it takes time to do something great. Greatness was never happened overnight. Riches never came overnight unless you were playing the lottery. And the lottery is really, I say, it's a fool's taxation. It's a fool's tax to play the lottery. Yes, you have some people that win it, and I get it. That's great. But we all know that most of those folks that win the lottery are dead broke in a year because they haven't built any type of consistent, they don't have any tools in place to help them with this sudden growth of wealth, and they end up blowing it all and end up owning Uncle Sam a big chunk of it. But if you're younger, and we've got a pretty good group of folks that follow us that are, I'll just say younger, 35 and below, don't have a lot of capital saved because you're really just getting into the workplace and starting to put money away. Maybe you're struggling. Look at your activity or your inactivity. What are you doing on a daily basis? So one of the most valuable tools that we have found that will help you stay focused is to putting together. One of the things we talked about is a 30 by 30 marketing matrix, 30 activities over 30 days. Some of these activities you do daily, some you do weekly, some you do monthly. But keeping track of that schedule is a great tool to use. And I would check out our 30 by 30 marketing matrix video, an episode we've done a while back. I'll try to link it in the video here for you, or put it in the chat roll for you, or not the chat roll, but in the description there for you. But besides that, you have to really time block your schedule. And that really is a difficult thing. When I first started off, when I was a young guy going out as an entrepreneur, my schedule actually hung me. The open time frame and not having to clock in from 9 to 5 at a job really almost drove me to ruin. And it drives a lot of people to ruin. They get out and they're like, what do I do now? Well, I'm going to sleep in a little bit and watch this show on TV, or I may cut it early and go to happy hour at 3 o'clock. I did those things. I was very similar. Oh, I'm going to go do this, or I'm going to have fun. I'm going to play video games for an hour, or I won't go out and make that sales call. I'll make it tomorrow. I'll do it mañana, mañana, mañana. Well, the mañana method never leads to results today. It keeps pushing your success and potential results out further and further out. You have to really dive into your schedule. You have to be honest with yourself and realize that you can do it. All right. You can do it. In the words of Rob Schneider from The Waterboy, one of the most iconic, catchphrases, you can do it all night long. You know what I mean? And I'm a big believer that anybody can do this business. Anybody can be a real estate investor if they are consistent and stick to it and just focus on that one thing for a while. Too many entrepreneurs are out trying to do too many different things. They're running around like a chicken with their head cut off. And you will burn out faster. You'll get more frustrated, and you'll make a whole lot less money trying to do too many things at once. Develop one path, master that one path, that one strategy down, and then learn to delegate it or learn to streamline your focus. If you're trying to do too many things at once, you're not going to be happy. I mean, we see this a lot of times with, like I said, people that are working full time, or we see a lot of people that have some other job they're doing. Like, I'm just giving you an example. We've got quite a few realtors that are working as trying to be as note investors. Well, they spend most of their time being a realtor, and they are taking orders from potential investors, but they're not actually developing any relationships, developing any sources or marketing to find note deals. And if they just took some time, a few hours, an hour a day, even away from their main, prospecting for real estate deals or real estate listings or sales or buyers, stuff like that, whether you're doing as an agent, they would find other resources, jumping on the county records and looking at the AM search. If you're looking for investors, jumping on the appraisal districts, the county recorders to find investors who have used their IRA to buy a deal or fund a deal. They're buyers of real estate. That's a great place to look first and foremost, and helping people. If you need it, buyers or sellers, that's a great place. But it's also a great place to develop those relationships for funders for your future deals, because it's a different mindset. I get it. And a lot of us get so sucked into being one mindset, or what, we think that our limiting beliefs, they stop us from taking that extra step. They take us from getting outside of our comfort level or getting outside of the house. Oh no, I can't do that. I got to stay home in my safe space. And we've honestly, we've done that to ourselves over the time of COVID. I don't want to get out. I don't want to go talk to people. Well, you need to. You got to get out, network. You got to go to meetup groups. You got to go to BNI groups. So that's one of the easiest things to go. You have to set up some specific dedication to your business or your side hustle away from whatever that main 9 to 5 is. You've got to be honest that I've got to be devoted. I've got to be committed. And I got to give this time. As I always say, don't just give it 6 hours or 60 days. You got to get this realistically 6 months and put to it, and realize that deals take time. Not every deal is going to close and pay you money. So this is why it's important to streamline your expenses, but also be very focused on and consistent in the marketing strategies that don't cost you a lot of money. Like I mentioned, LinkedIn and networking don't really cost you a lot of money. Going out to some of these different industry events, not attending, but if you can see who the vendors are there off of these websites, or you can see some of these events will post who their past attendees are, that's worth pulling that list and then researching those people on LinkedIn, or going over to PaperStack or other list websites out there and seeing who the sellers are and then researching them to find potential deal flow. I did that this morning with an investor, and we found a seller who had 2 notes listed on a platform that they now found that they got 20 assets on a platform, not on a platform, but they're looking to sell. And my student has that exclusive right in the first lookie at those other 18 assets, which is great. It's phenomenal. One of the most important things I can tell you is you got to work on your mindset first and foremost. I think that's one of the most important things that really those successful entrepreneurs, those successful investors are the ones that have the most positive mindset. They don't let little things trip them up over, stupid things. They don't get bent out by stupid things. They realize and take things in ebb and flows. Hey, there's a reason for this. Let's work through this. Let's find solutions. You got to be solutions oriented versus being problem focused. And so many people, we get tripped up by things and we just focus the problem and we let that problem, fixate and turn into other things. One of my high school coaches, Coach Robledo, he was my linebacker coach in high school. He was also the head basketball coach. And he would, as we ran kind of a fast-paced offense. And where am I getting at with this? Is he would always say, don't let one mistake turn into 2 or 3 mistakes. If you make a mistake, okay, you made a mistake, move on. But if you let that one mistake trip you up into making a second or third because you're frustrated or you're not making wise decisions, he would pull your ass out and sit you on the bench. And I see that happening is that we get emotionally tied up in something. So we make a bad decision or we make a mistake and we're so fixated on that mistake that we end up making a second mistake or a third mistake, or we miss the opportunity that comes along because we're so fixated and having a negative mindset. You can't do that. You will attract what you put out. If you have a negative mindset or a frustration mindset, guess what? You're going to attract more negativity. But if you have a positive mindset, if you have a positive mental attitude, you can do whatever you set your mind to. You can do it all year long. All right. And I've seen it done. I've seen it happen many times. I've seen that in a matter of 30 seconds, things can change for the better or things can change for the worse. And most of that is predicated on my mindset and my consistency. And here's the thing. As I mentioned earlier, we all struggle with that at some point. You can time block your schedule down to every 15 minutes. You're not going to be that successful. You're going to screw up. The big thing is to give yourself some grace and realize that, hey, it's okay. I messed up. I got sidetracked because of something, family, Christmas party, whatever. This time of year is fraught with it, reasons to screw up on some stuff. But here's the thing. If you mess up or you forget about something, you're not consistent, guess what? Start today. Start again. Get up off that map and get back in the ring and start marketing. Keep marketing. Keep marketing. It is a great time now to be consistent moving into, because you've got all these reasons to get together. And I'm not saying go to a holiday party and start pitching your note deals or say, hey, do you want to fund something? No, just start creating those relationships and then follow up with them first of the year. All right. Nobody likes that guy or gal at the party who's just pitching their things over, your eggnog. Nobody wants that. Don't be that guy or gal. But you can be the person who's building relationships, and then you can follow up with the first. Hey, I'd love to talk with you. Enjoyed visiting with you at the holiday party. I'd love to find out more about what you're doing. I'd love to share what I'm doing, just in case you come across somebody. January, February, March are always the time of the year where more people show up to networking events, real estate clubs, because they have big goals. Of course, do they flake off? Yes, a huge percentage of them will flake off by February, March. Same thing like going to the gym. Hey, if you're not consistent, you may go that first couple of days, but then you flake off because you let life get in the way and slap you around. Don't get frustrated. It's easy to do that, but if you fixate in your frustration, you're not going to get over the hump. And you got to realize, hey, if you only have 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 20 minutes to market or reach out, do it. I mean, one of the things that is so great is that we've got this smartphone that you can do from anywhere. So if you're sitting waiting on your spouse or sitting at a party or sitting somewhere bored, guess what? Jump on your phone, start marketing, start reaching out to asset managers, start that connection aspect, start connecting with people, look for networking opportunities, jump on your county records and look for IRA investors. There are so many things you can do, but you have to be consistent in your activities, because guess what? Whatever you focus on consistently is stuff that you will reap. If you're not consistent and not focused, that's why you're reaping nothing, because you're not being consistent. You're not sticking to it. And that's what you're getting, a whole lot of nothing, because you're not being consistent. So be focused, be consistent, give yourself, like I said, room to fail. But if you don't do something today, do it tomorrow. If you don't do it tomorrow, guess what? Do it the next day. Just get the ball rolling. Momentum is easier to keep. Once you've lost it, it's starting all over again. That's okay. You're going to have some gaps, but guess what? If you keep that mindset, hey, I'm going to get started, those gaps will be fewer and fewer. And maybe instead of a month, they're down to a week every once in a while, or then they're down to just a couple days. You build these, it's like building a muscle. You take these actions, it doesn't take long, each day, each week. If you have 30 activities by 30 days, your 30-30 matrix, that will help guide you, that will help hold you accountable. At the end of the month, even if you miss a day or two, guess what? You can look back and say, hey, I got some great stuff done. I got this done, and I can see the results starting to show up in my marketing, in my deal flow, in my capital raising, and my deals closed. So I encourage you. And then from the water boy, you can do it all night long. You can do it. I believe in you. So go out there, kick some ass, take some names, and we'll see you at the top, everybody.